right, folks, welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
And I'm Bradley Cooper.
I'm Theo Huxtable.
Hey guys, guess what? Oh, I just wanted to introduce. I didn't, like any good man needs to do, I wanted to introduce my wife. Since I am Bradley Cooper, we do have a special guest today, and so I want to introduce my wife. So, Mrs. Bradley Cooper, would you say hello?
Hi, I am Mrs. Cooper.
Yeah, so today you are hanging with Mr. and Mrs. Cooper.
The air is thick with attraction, people.
Wow, she sounds just like my missus.
She looks kind of like her too, doesn't she?
Yeah, for real. We brought an expert on the show because today we're going to be talking about best romantic comedies. And by the way, folks, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so go out and get some of those chocolates and teddy bears and flowers.
And the gummy sweethearts, those are the ones I like.
The gummy sweethearts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but actually, if you got some of that half off of Christmas chocolate,
right?
you don't actually have to go.
It's time to
use it right now.
Get it.
Just kind of change Santa Claus to a little cherub. Maybe get a little X-Acto knife and cut off his little suit and put like a little diaper on him.
Oh my goodness!
It works. I'm telling you,
hey,
doesn't it, Mrs. Cooper?
Sure. I wouldn't eat it, but sure.
Well, there goes my day. All right, folks, let's get to some of your questions here. First question we have by Brian C. is, what's the most ridiculous concept for a TV show?
That's a great question.
Mr. Huxtable?
Okay, so I guess, when we talk about terrible concepts for a TV show, in my opinion, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a ridiculous concept, but it works. I still like the show. Another ridiculous concept for me is Life with Louie. A concept because it was Louis Anderson as a kid just whining about adult things. I don't know. I watched it. I did enjoy it, but it's a ridiculous concept.
I think the problem with that is that nobody cared about Louis Anderson when he was adult, much less than a kid. So,
Ow.
On that note, Cartoon Planet. I mean, not Cartoon Planet.
All
Captain
right.
Planet was kind of
Bradley.
Well, I'm just saying.
What's yours?
Oh, the Brady Bunch. What a horrible concept, okay?
Like, why do we work?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it worked for some people, but come on. Like, two families coming together and living harmoniously? That would never happen. Come on.
Wow.
Like 9 people under one roof?
Why don't you go ahead and just say Little House on the Prairie was a sham?
Well, at least Little House on the Prairie, like they didn't know any better. Like it was they were on the prairie. They didn't have anywhere else to go.
Wow.
Wow. What the mom needed to do, what Florence Henderson needed to do was go out and get a job, support her own kids. She don't need a man.
But it's still.
I don't even know where to go with
that.
It's
the Brady Bunch, okay?
Okay, all right. Well, for me, it's going to be Toxic Crusaders. I thought that was just such a weird, wild concept. I still have no idea why it worked.
Swamp Thing was a bad one, too.
I wasn't a big fan. Swamp Thing, yeah,
but you're right. Toxic Crusaders is ridiculous.
It had that and Garbage Pail Kids had no reason being.
I tell you what, I would like to see is a mashup between Toxic Crusaders and Captain Planet.
Oh yeah,
I would like to see them.
They would eradicate all them Toxic Crusaders.
Fantastic.
Yes,
a crossover to rule all crossovers.
Okay, now if you had one ring from Captain Planet, I keep saying Cartoon Planet. I was watching Toonami Aftermath last night. Shout out to Toonami Aftermath. If you haven't been there, ToonamiAftermath.com, anime, manga supporters, check it out. Captain Planet, ridiculous concept. What would be your ring if you had to choose one?
Like, wasn't there a fire ring?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be the fire ring all the way.
I guess what fire, earth, wind, and air, or whatever. What
water.
What
guys, we are talking about Valentine's Day. You have to choose art.
No,
I'm choosing
no,
I'm just kidding. I'm totally choosing fire.
Because it's Valentine's Day and the fire in my loins is a burning.
Ooh.
So I choose the fire ring. Isn't that right, Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper, cover your ears. Anyway, Dak asked, what anime or manga would you like to see turned into a movie, Mr. Huxtable?
Excellent question. My answer immediately is none of them. Just because I think it's an art form that needs to stay in its traditional means. I mean, when you take a lot of those things like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and everything, you try to put them in a live action setting, it just doesn't work. Now, on that note, I will say there is one manga that comes to mind, also by Mr. Akira Toriyama, called Dr. Slump. And I think if they gave it kind of a treatment where, he's living in the penguin village with all these animal-human hybrids and everything, and they gave it kind of almost a Farscape treatment where they use puppets and kind of gave it this comedy edge, like in the manga. I think it could work, maybe an adaptation. But no, right off the bat, I'm like, no, just keep it in its art form.
Okay, good answer. Last question here is by Rory. He says if we could pick one franchise to get the expanded universe treatment, meaning more books, comics, novels, or whatever was put out about that franchise, which one would it be?
Well, you mentioned this before we started, The Matrix, and I have to agree. I would love to see more Matrix. I mean, granted,
Rory mentioned that one. That was Rory's.
Okay, right. That was right. Okay,
yeah.
that was Rory's question. Okay, I have to agree with Rory. I'd love The Matrix to expand. We do have the video game that came out that kind of took place, kind of side story with the original, with Neo.
And the Animatrix.
And the Animatrix.
But you'd like to see more.
I would love to see more of that. I really would.
Okay.
Back to the Future. I think I love the Back to the Future world, and even though it was already pretty expansive, I mean, with the movies, and they had video games and toys and different things like that, but I think within that world that they built with the ability to time travel, I mean, anytime you add time travel to any story, but I think you could do a lot more. I'd like to see more about, Doc Brown when he was younger, Marty's kids, like, that you could play around a lot with that, and then they could get in different adventures. Kind of like a young Indiana Jones type thing, where you could go back and deal with, or you could go forward when Marty was older and then deal more with his kids, kind of like they did in Part 2, where his kids were bad. But you just do all kinds of universes with that. I'd like to see like a huge expanded universe.
That came out of left field for me. Wow. Okay. Mine would be basically, I would like to see more Tremors. The movie series, TV show, Tremors to me was one of my favorites. They didn't do books or comics or anything about them. I would love to see more Tremors from that line.
I'd like to see more Kevin Bacon.
Here we go.
I wouldn't mind seeing more Kevin Bacon.
You're Mrs. Cooper right now, and you can't be Mrs. Bacon too.
That doesn't mean I can't peruse the menu.
Hello.
Especially when what she wants for breakfast.
Bacon. What about more Kevin Costner?
I would definitely take more Kevin Costner. Yes, I
You
would.
should have been Mr. Costner today.
So what you're saying is you want more Bull Durham. You want to see more of the expanded universe of more dances with wolves.
No, she wants to see more Field of Dreams is what she wants
No,
to see.
I want to see more Robin Hood. Is what I
Oh, yeah! That's actually a good one, because you could actually do a lot with Robin Hood.
Yes, you could.
Wow.
And I would be his maid Marian.
Hello. Hello, I'm right here.
Robin Hood's
Anyway.
Hey, I'm right here.
And before we begin our top 5 rom-coms, folks, I'd just like you to know, on this day of love, what better way to show your affection than by getting an appraisal through Mark Addison Appraisals.
Mark Addison Appraisals, corner to corner, wall to wall, he does it all.
Need a house for your spouse? Call Mark Edison. Let's go into our top 5. We went into top 5 romantic comedies, and we're kind of going to go around the room here. And I think, Mikey, you go first and give us number 5.
Well, I always have to start off with a little explanation here. Romantic comedies to me, this is by far and away my favorite genre of movie. More than sci-fi, more than regular comedy, more than action, more than horror, more than anything. I love romantic comedies.
I feel like we should have some Kenny G playing behind you right now.
We should. Like, I wish it would just kind of slowly fade in. I do. Like, there's just something about romantic comedies. Like, I've always been like a hopeless romantic, but these are the type of movies that I can put on and just watch all the time. They're easy to watch. The replayability of them is very, very high. And so this was the hardest list for me to choose, because right whenever I heard romantic comedies, boom, like every single one that I looked at, I could think of like 30 right now that I just love. I love them, love them, love them. And there's lots of different types of romantic comedies, right, guys? Mm-hmm. So what constitutes a romantic comedy? You got serious type of romantic comedies, like say As Good as It Gets. That's a little bit more on the serious side. But then you have ones that are truly like lovey-dovey, like something like maybe Love Actually. That's got a much more of like a heart to it. But then you got silly ones like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Knocked Up, that side. So like there's a lot of different genres within romantic comedy.
Where would you put Mr. Deeds in that?
Mr. Deeds? I would put that in the trash pile, because that's a horrible movie.
Wow. Number 5.
My number 5 is 10 Things I Hate About You.
That's a good one.
That is such a very guilty pleasure of mine. Anytime it's on, I stop. I love seeing young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, young Heath Ledger. I don't like Julia Stiles, but I loved her in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, she just fit. I guess maybe like growing up in the theater and then knowing Shakespeare and liking Shakespeare and then any type of contemporary Shakespeare that actually works. I liked it. It was, it was perfect at that time, the late '90s. Good soundtrack, good music, good performances, and just easy to watch. So,
And the Shakespeare was Taming of the Shrew, right?
correct. Yeah.
Great show.
Does the missus approve of
I
that
do
one?
approve.
Okay.
I do approve.
All right. She's going to tell you if your
That's a
picks are
good
bogus.
Well-
Oh, is that it? We got a bogus meter?
She's the
Well,
judge.
I
Okay.
She
all
will
right.
tell you if they're bogus.
No, I like that.
She's-
I like that.
I'm gonna get a 10 on every one of mine. I promise you.
All right, go for it.
I mean, 10 is
Mr.
like
Huxtable.
bogus.
What is
Okay.
your number 5?
Well, Mikey talked about the silly side of romantic comedies, and that is where I like to hang out. When you said romantic comedy, you think about romantic movies like The Notebook. That's a romantic movie, and we actually talked about that. We're talking about romantic comedy, stuff that has romantic themes, but is also really funny. My number 5 is Saving Silverman.
Wow, you dug deep on that one.
You did. Why Saving Silverman?
Because that was I love Jack Black. I'm a big fan. He's great, and I love the whole premise of what's his name? Jason Biggs.
Mm-hmm.
He comes through. He's kind of this love drunk fella, and just loves to fall in love. And this woman comes along and takes advantage of that and just controls his life. And I just think the show has so many great one-liners, especially all the Neil Diamond references. I think the show is great. And I laugh at it every time I see it. It still holds up.
Before we go any further, Clyde, you don't have Shallow Hal on there, do you?
Almost.
Oh,
You know,
really?
I almost put that on my list.
Oh, you would have gotten them. Now, Mrs., is this bogus or do you approve?
I approve of that one.
Okay.
all right.
It's
All right.
Jack Black.
All right, number 5 is one that no one has on their list. I know because I dug back to 1972, but that's because I think it is a fantastic romantic comedy starring Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal. What's Up, Doc? Has anyone seen that movie?
No.
It is hilarious. It's the whole mixed suitcase. There's 7 suitcases or 5 suitcases that all look the same, but they all get mixed up, and they all carry some significance. And the whole time, he and Barbara Streisand keep bumping heads back and forth. They're strangers at first, and of course, end up romantically involved. And it's just a wonderful story.
Wait, what's that? What are you doing, Matt? Wait. Don't throw me your wallet. Okay, crap. I'll dig your man card out of there for naming a Barbara Streisand movie. Here's your wallet back.
Oh, now you know what? You know what? You can knock it, but you haven't tried it.
No,
So I would like to challenge you,
Ooh.
Bradley,
Yes.
to watch What's Up, Doc, and then tell me that doesn't deserve to be in the top 5.
Well, I'll only watch it with Mrs. Cooper.
I'll watch it. I haven't seen it.
All right.
I'd watch it.
Okay, so go ahead. The missus is about to give number 5. Go for it.
Well, I just had to I had to change up my number 5, but it was one I was contemplating anyway. But I'm gonna have to go with Failure to Launch.
Oh.
I mean, it's got Sarah Jessica Parker, who I just adore, and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And it has Bradley Cooper in the supporting role.
Yes, it does.
Justin Bartha.
I was in that. I had a good time.
Zoe Deschanel. I mean, what's not to love about that movie?
I loved doing it.
It's great.
Wait. Okay, gotcha. Well, we're talking about those. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Anyway, okay, good. That's a good reason to have him.
It's a good list of characters.
By the way, folks, we have 2 huge Sex and the City fans in here, and one of them is not me.
It is not Theo.
It is.
What?
All right, so go ahead, Bradley. Give me number 4.
My number 4, oh man, I'm telling you, okay, this movie to me gets me every single time. Like, love is an understatement for what I feel for this movie, all right? 13 going on 30. This movie just makes me happy. Like, it makes everything inside of me giddy when it comes on. Jennifer Garner is as cute as can possibly be. Mark Ruffalo as Maddie. He's so sweet, and I mean, all it is kind of like an updated version of Big, which is one of my very favorite '80s movies, one of my very favorite movies of all time. But they did it in such a way where they kept it cute, they kept it innocent, and it's got a thriller dance in it.
I was just about to say, it's the thriller dance.
Yes, anytime you have a
Can't go wrong.
choreographed Michael Jackson dance sequence, I mean, in my top 5.
And no one could see this, but the missus lit up. when
Yeah,
you
she
said
did.
that.
It's a good movie. It was not my top 5, but it was on my top list.
Let me ask you something. Oh, by the way, last night she was making a top 5. She couldn't. She had
It
like
was
10.
hard.
I said,
No,
make a top
I-
10 and then take the top 5.
Yeah.
But she felt bad for the bottom 5.
I did too.
I mean,
But-
it's a hard.
But
it's
she
hard.
definitely approves of 13 going
I
on
do.
30.
All right. My number 4 is going to be
Predator
Dan-
2.
Awesome.
Fast and the Furious.
If you give me a minute, I can find a reason Predator 2. If you give me a minute, I'll find a reason for you.
You like that love story between Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez? Because you too live your life a quarter mile at a time.
That's right.
It's
For those
funny.
10 seseconds or less, I'm free.
I'm sorry, Mr. Huxtable. Go ahead. I couldn't help it.
All right. Here we go. 40-year-old virgin.
Yes. That's a great movie.
It's fantastic. I love it. I'm a Steve Carell fan. I think it's great.
Now, that almost weighs more on the comedy side than it does romantic comedy.
Yeah, but the whole movie, he's just trying to.
True,
He's
he's
trying to find a
trying to
romantic
find love.
connection.
That's why I
instead
said
of
like
just
some
trying
of
to-
these are kind of like.
But see, the thing about it is, and the title's misleading. It's called The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and they build you up for that. A man who's trying to get his rocks off after not having any kind of sexual relation for 40 years of his life. But it turns out all he wanted was the right romantic connection.
Right, and I think that's the reason why you can find that one as a romantic comedy, because the whole purpose of it isn't just to make you laugh. The whole purpose is that this guy changed his life for a woman.
Exactly. I mean, they're just throwing like scores of plays at him, trying to get him to go with all these women, take him to the bars, and that's where all the comedy is. And you think it's just his pursuit of getting laid, but it's not. He finds a romantic connection with somebody.
Although, like being a big nerd, and you'll probably agree with me on this one too, like just seeing her make him sell his like toy collection, that like I couldn't go that far. Like any type of like old school collections
Yeah.
that I have, like I would not be able to go that far.
Luckily, my wife's kind of a nerd too, so I don't have to deal with that. But,
Like I would be like, sorry, lady, see ya.
Yeah, it's not like she's going to give your clothes away or something.
yeah, really, who would do such a thing?
I know. Anyway, my number 4 is one that I'm pretty positive Bradley may have on his list. Now, I could be wrong about this, but number 4 for me is 500 Days of Summer.
I knew you were going to pick that
Oh
one.
yeah, that is a good one.
That's a good
That
one.
is
Yeah.
in my also Rand's list, but it's
Okay.
not in my top 5.
Not in your top 5.
because
okay.
I love it.
I was a little surprised then because I thought that was one we were going to share. That one, of course, is excellent. There's so many good scenes I can point to. What he thinks happened in his mind and what really happened, the side-by-side camera view. It's wonderful. And then another great scene, of course, is the part where he's dancing down the street.
Hall of
and-
Notes,
Yes.
man.
And he looks into the car reflection, and it's Han Solo giving him like the
Yes.
man.
It's great.
It was unbelievable, and it's touching. I really enjoyed that film. I did not think I would even love that film.
I'll
And, I
tell
mean,
you-
I had the lowest expectations watching that film, and it way exceeded.
What I love so much about that film, my favorite movie of all time is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I've always called...
And that's a good one.
I didn't put that in this list because I don't really consider that a romantic comedy. Like, that's
Right.
just kind of a different movie to me. But 500 Days of Summer, to me, I've always considered Eternal Sunshine light.
Right.
Or diet Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Because it's that same concept of, you know, relationships come and go, and you meet somebody and you may think it's the best thing in the entire world, you know, but at the end, you know, like relationships end as well, and you have to move on. So you have to take the good and the bad relationships. And so I do, like, it was a wonderful ideas, like both lead actor and actress in that movie totally bought in to what the director and the writer, because it was one of those movies where the writer and the director, Mark Webb, happened to be the same guy. And so, like, he was, all of his ideas, you know, they bought into it, and it worked, yeah.
It worked. Mrs.
Well, my number 4, you can't have a top 5 without having at least one John Hughes movie in there.
I agree.
So my number 4 is going to be 16 Candles.
Yes.
I'll be honest, that's the first movie she thought about when making the top 5 list.
Well, yeah, because of Jake Ryan.
Jake Ryan.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I mean, okay, no.
Did I say that before you?
No, it's fine. It is fine. But I mean, who wouldn't want a Jake Ryan to show up in a red Porsche and wait for you, you know, when you least expected?
Me.
But one thing.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, you don't
Get out
have
of
this
here.
conversation.
Oh, you big Philly man.
get out of my dreams, get into my car.
Right?
My rip for raw.
But no, I think what makes it a romantic comedy is that it is a comedy, but this whole time, it's more set, I guess, around, everyone forgetting her birthday. But here it is, like this love story going on in the background, and then it develops at the very end of the movie where they're sitting on the table with the birthday cake.
I would definitely say that's a romantic comedy. I wouldn't even be doubtful about that, fellas.
I mean, I would put it in the romantic comedy like genre, of course, but for me, like that's a tough one. Like all those John Hughes movies, like it's just me. For me, I look at them, I put them in a different pocket in my mind. I put them all in like coming of age, like teenager movies.
And that's true. That's what they are.
And they are romantic comedy, sure.
Yes.
This one more than the others, though.
Right.
I would agree with that.
All right, number 3, Bradley.
My number 3 is a little movie named Notting Hill.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
That movie to me is just about as touching as you can get because it's just simple. And I've never been a big Julia Roberts fan. Like I just haven't. Like I don't mind Julia Roberts. Like I think that she's a fine actress, but I never go goo goo gaga over her. I mean, you're never gonna see me on a Friday night being like, "Hey guys, let's go see that new Julia Roberts movie." Like I thought Pretty Woman was overrated. Like I like Steel Magnolias. Runaway Bride, that type of stuff. But they're just fine movies to me. But the thing that I liked about Notting Hill, and in particularly her in Notting Hill, was that she wasn't playing this highfalutin, over-the-top character. Like she was basically just playing herself. And it was very subtle, it was very subdued, and it allowed her to just kind of play like a rich movie star, and it allowed Hugh Grant to do what he does best, which is be kind of floppish and skittish and shy and bumble over his words. And I thought that the chemistry in between those two were wonderful. And I will forever think of that movie every time I say whoops-a-daisy.
Okay, Bradley, I'm just going to tell you this. You made a mistake, and you're about to get American sniped by the missus. Do not dog Pretty Woman around the missus.
Look.
Well, I'm just saying. That story for another day. Like, it's not a bad movie.
It's a fight in the parking lot for another day after the show's over. You better watch it.
I mean, Richard Gere can, just spoil me all he wants to. I'm okay with that.
Wait, we haven't got any bogus meter ratings on these.
No, she hasn't. She's been very approving of each one.
Yeah, I don't know so much about Notting Hill. I mean, it's a good movie. I'm not a huge Hugh Grant fan.
But I think I know what your number 1 is.
Are
now
you going to say
bogus?
bogus?
Your Notting Hill is number.
Are you going to bogus
I think
it?
I know what your 1 is.
I don't know. I bet.
Hold on, Mr. Huxtable.
No, go ahead. Y'all go
What was
ahead.
you gonna say?
Are you going to bogus it?
I mean,
Bogus it. Bogus it.
Okay, fine. Bogus.
Sorry. I got bogus.
When you diss Pretty Woman, you dug your own hole, sir.
Yes,
You
not so much
dug your own
because
hole.
That's
yes,
okay.
Pretty Woman.
I've just
but
always
it is a good
loved
movie.
Notting Hill.
It is a good movie.
I've always loved Notting Hill for the simplicity of it, and for the chills that I get during that one line at the end, whenever she walks back into the bookstore and says, "I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her." That is a fantastic line, and it is said to perfection. Look,
give me back my man card.
Does one line define the whole movie, though?
No, I'll tell you what defines that movie
me,
is the roommate's T-shirt, and you know what I'm talking about. That's the most awesome T-shirt ever. If anyone's seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Look, I'll tell you what. Just for purposes of the misses, just pretend that I didn't say Notting Hill, and then I replaced it with The Wedding Singer.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You're changing the subject.
No, alternate timeline for the misses.
Number 3.
Okay, number 3 for me, Knocked Up.
Great movie.
I do like that movie. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know it's going to get a bogus meter on that
one.
Yes, I'm not even going to hesitate. That is not my favorite movie.
She called bogus.
Okay, well, what didn't you like about it?
Well,
probably the crudeness.
Well, God, I think
crass.
you can make a decent movie without all of the crudeness in it. And then what's the lead actress' name?
Katherine
Heigl.
Yeah, I mean,
she pretty much is just, I'm Katherine Heigl, I have problems.
To her credit, as a person, she looks pretty despicable. I mean, she sounds pretty despicable.
Okay.
As an actress, as an actress,
Like, wow,
you
someone
know,
was talking about the Crypt Keeper over there. Like, geez, all I said was like she kind of plays the same character every time, typecast.
I don't mind that movie at all. But the thing is, though, she as an actress doesn't get much love from people because she didn't get much love to that movie.
Well, I've always liked Katherine Heigl, but I think she dug her own grave with
She
all
did.
of her.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard she's been a terror to work with and that sort of thing.
Yes, you hear that from multiple people.
Right, but like I didn't mind some of her movies that she was in. I liked
Some
them.
of
I
them.
like 27
Do you know
Dresses.
what-
Okay, I love 27
But you know what's
Dresses.
funny? Now that I'm making this list, I'm thinking about movies that I actually like better than Knocked Up. So I don't know why.
I mean, Knocked Up
I'm
was
fine with that. I told you I like Knocked Up.
Knocked Up was a different type of romantic comedy, but it was a romantic comedy of the 21st century. I mean, that type of stuff is very relevant.
I hate to do this, guys, and it's unprecedented, but I've got to replace my number 3.
Dun dun dun.
Ghost Town, starring Ricky Gervais.
That's a great movie. That actually, have y'all seen that movie?
I can't say I have.
Look, I'm telling you right now. Give me a high five. Bam.
I had to replace it.
Ghost Town is sweet and funny.
It's fantastic.
And if you like Ricky Gervais, it's excellent.
Are you even allowed to do this?
Yes.
It
Yes.
happened. It
Yes.
happened.
Yes, it happened.
The Mrs. Bogus you out of your number 3 pick?
She did it.
I'm standing pat on my naughty
Look,
heel.
no, Knocked Up.
You should have
Knocked
seen
Up.
it. She almost came across the table when you said
Look,
that
no, Knocked
movie.
Up was a great
That was
movie.
almost as bad as him
Knocked Up
dissing
was a
Pretty
great
Woman.
movie, but then we started talking about it. I'm like, you know what? There's better.
I just think Knocked Up is more of a guy's movie.
It is a good movie, and I will still watch it. I mean, if someone put it on right now, I'd sit down and watch it and laugh. But I think Ghost Town deserves to be on my list.
All right, my number 3. I had it on my list. I took it off, and then I saw it on someone else's online list. So I put it back in. Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
It runs the risk of being just a plain comedy, though.
Well,
But because I
no.
saw it on someone else's list as a rom-com, I
So-
decided to keep it.
Why are you going off someone else's list?
No, I had it on my own list, but
Ooh.
then removed it, and then looked online to see if
To make
someone
sure
else had it
somebody
on their
else put it
list,
on their
and they
list?
did. Well, because I don't know, because I could almost define it as a straight comedy.
I would think it would be more
Well,
straight
once
comedy.
again though, like he gets stuck in that rut of that same day, which is the what's the word I'm looking for?
When it comes to every movie is going to try to fit romance in it.
right.
How you can define a romantic comedy is if the movie centers around
The romance.
the romance.
And it does.
If this may be a comedy with a romance.
Well, like it started off, it's him getting in that loop, and that's the plot device.
Right.
But within that plot device, everything he does throughout the movie is to try to impress her and to get her.
Right. And I love everything about that movie.
It's
by the way.
fantastic. Like, and I don't really like Bill
I
Murray.
don't know.
but,
I feel like
love
he kind of.
that.
I feel like as in that movie, to me, it's more not so much him trying to impress her, but him trying to better himself with each day that he
Yeah.
repeats.
All right. Am I getting a bogus?
Yeah, because I don't think that should be included.
Okay, we're
Um,
all even on bogus
We're even.
here.
We're even.
And
Mm.
it's
All right.
your number 3.
Go, missus. She boguses all our number
All
3s. I just
threes.
noticed that. Okay, go for it.
All right. So my number 3 would be
Bogus.
While You Were Sleeping, with Sandra Bullock and what?
Bill Pullman.
You know what? I love Bill Pullman. I do.
Did you vote for him as president in Independence Day?
You know what? I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I was proud of that.
Well,
No, I think that is. I think that's more of a romantic movie with a comedy around it.
I would say so. No, I would say there's comedy in there. I would say that. And While
I
You're
mean,
Sleeping is a
because
fine movie. It's fine. That was back when I was in love with Sandra Bullock.
yeah.
Speed and While You Were Sleeping were Demolition Man 2 were the
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock heydays.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about Speed again.
Number 2, Bradley.
All right, my number 2. This is gonna hit home with you, since you love this sport. Fever Pitch. That is my number 2 favorite romantic comedy. And so anybody that hasn't seen Fever Pitch, Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore, it's actually based. That's not an original concept. It's based off an old British movie with the same concept, where a woman falls in love with a man during the baseball off season, and then whenever it gets to baseball season, she has no idea that he is like the biggest rabid fan known to man, and she has to figure out if she can take it. Well, I love Drew Barrymore and I love Jimmy Fallon, so they're kind of cute, and they match up well together because they're just cute and awkward and goofy. And I don't particularly like baseball too much, but I like the Farrelly brothers actually did this movie, and a lot of people don't realize that. And what I love about this movie is I think it captures the wonder and the majesty of what baseball really is, especially for people in the Northeast. Because he goes and he introduces her to all the people that have season tickets around his seats, and they become like a big family. And it has one of the best like movie montages I've ever seen. And what was cool to me also about this movie was that they were filming this movie during like the 2003-2004 year, and they had a completely different ending. But that was the year that the Yankees were up 3-0, and then the Red Sox won 4 in a row to come back and win the World Series. And so they completely changed the entire ending of the movie.
And I think I like the story behind the movie better than the movie.
Well, that's an interesting part of that, because a lot of that ending stuff at the movie, you're capturing real emotions.
They filmed it at the World Series.
Right,
In fact,
yeah.
you saw it on the broadcast. Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore, hugging, kissing, and everything. I was going, wait, they're a couple? Because I was watching the actual World Series at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And then I found out they were shooting a movie right then. And the story behind that movie, to me, is better than the movie. But yeah, it's a good movie.
I like it. Like, there's just something about it that it's just sweet and it's endearing. And I love those two guys, because I'm kind of goofy and awkward like that, so I always kind of like,
And I have a feeling that Mrs. not only approves, but greatly approves.
I do. I think it's a really good movie, and it's definitely a rom-com. But I love Jimmy Fallon, and you cannot go wrong with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy. I wish they were almost a couple in real life, because they are so well together on screen. And it's a baseball movie, and I love baseball. So the whole movie is it's a great movie.
It is. It's
wearing a Texas Ranger T-shirt right now.
Everybody likes Jimmy Fallon. Like, you know what?
Who would have not to love
Right.
about Jimmy Fallon?
I like Jimmy Fallon as a host. I did not like him on SNL.
Oh,
We can talk about that
But you
another
know
day.
what? No, I love it, because he's just a guy who was just having fun, and I
agree.
love that he
Like, when I think of like
characters.
yeah, that people that like, if you wanted like come and like somebody to come and hang out with you for like a night, and just like Jimmy Fallon would be.
Yeah.
Sure,
Him and Paul
he'd be
Rudd would
fine.
be like at the top of my list, like dudes that just seem like they're cool to hang out with.
My two would
But
be
if I
Jimmy
need someone to act
Fallon.
professional on a skit, then I'm not getting him.
No, I would totally get him. But my two would be Jimmy Fallon and Vince Vaughn. Those would be the two I'd
Vince
want to
Vaughn.
hang out with.
Yeah, they just seem like cool dudes.
He's so money.
And he doesn't even know it.
And he doesn't even know it.
Mr. Huxtable, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. I'm kidding.
How fast would you have bogus that, Mrs.?
Very quickly.
bogus.
Very quickly. No, in all seriousness, my number 2 is Dan in Real Life.
I love that movie. It's
That
very good.
is the most genuine movie like I've ever seen. It's got so much just candor between the character relationships, and a lot of people. I think some people really didn't approve of oh, Dane Cook's in it. It's going to be no. Dane Cook is a good performer, and I think he did great in that movie.
He was good.
And of course, it's got Steve Carell as the main character as Dan, and he's this struggling writer who is he's a widower raising 3 girls, and they're he's got 2 girls they're kind of coming of age, and he's kind of reliving like a renaissance almost of his coming of age. He's starting to maybe get back out there. He met somebody he has a connection with, and he goes to his family that has a big reunion, and it turns out the woman that he'd been having a connection with in the beginning of the movie is his brother Dane Cook and his girlfriend. And so there's a lot of stuff that happens in that movie. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time, really. It's on my top 10 of favorite movies.
That's
Great
awesome.
movie. I love it. Steve Carell is an underrated serious actor.
Oh yeah.
He's there was a movie called Foxcatcher, and this is just off topic, that just came out. That was nominated for a lot of awards, and he was really fantastic in that. But he does. Like,
I meant to see that. I never got to see that.
It was good. No, but like in Dan in Real Life, like I like him because like he does such a good job of just endearing himself to you. Like you really believe him. And it helps a lot that Juliette Binoche is such a wonderful actress, and she's
great.
Yeah, and like you just fall in love with her too.
She's great.
So
The whole, honestly, that everybody who plays, the whole cast is so believable. Everybody.
Great movie.
My number 2 was almost my number 1. It fought for number 1. But it ended up at number 2. It was As Good as It Gets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, like that movie is
Everything
outstanding.
about that movie.
It's perfection.
It is perfection.
No, I just watched it last week in its entirety.
I guess I'll need to watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. I'll need to give it another
How
watch.
do you write a woman? Probably being one of my favorite lines.
Yes.
And then the other line would be the introduction in the car. That's just fantastic. Jack Nicholson just does a great job. He's got the awkwardness. His character. It's hard to pick what Jack Nicholson movie is your favorite, just because I think Jack Nicholson overall is great. This is a guy who, when he got older, still retained his greatness.
He's still just as versatile now as he was.
Yes, he is.
He can play anything.
Well, that's a very complex character too, because like the movie, it is a comedy, but like it doesn't. It takes itself just seriously enough to allow the real lives of these actors, or excuse me, of these characters to come through. So you have like this really serious scene with Simon, and then you have this really serious scene with Carol, which is Helen Hunt, and then this real serious scene where it talks about their past and why they are who they are, and it adds such weight and levity. But the whole time, there's this lighthearted kind of fair to it, and then when they get out of that, and they, he's totally ridden with OCD. But it's comical, like you laugh at him, but you feel bad for him too.
And then one of the best scenes is when they're sitting there eating, and he's just screwing it up, and he's just saying, "Hey, look, help me. I don't know what to do. I don't know." I mean, he just basically just breaks down in front of her.
Yeah, no, that is one of my very favorite lines in movie history. Whenever she says, "Give me a compliment," and he goes through all this roundabout way and doesn't get it, and then he just looks at her and is like, "You make me want to be a better man."
That's fantastic.
Like, and he delivers it in such a way where you're like, man.
All right,
y'all
so
remember that movie way better than I do.
Well, I just watched it last week. I had to write a 4-page report on it like last week, so like I had to study it last week. It's one of the only movies ever to win Best Actor and Best Actress at the Academy Awards. That didn't really happen all that often. Silence of the Lambs did, and also One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest did.
Oh, so
is that your number 2? Wow. Okay, I did not see that coming. Yeah. That is a fun romantic comedy. Okay, Mrs. What is your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is almost my number 1.
Uh-oh.
But I would have to say Anything.
Yeah.
John Cusack.
Great movie.
I wanted so badly for someone to come to my window and just hold up a boombox and
Number 1, like when I started thinking about this, number 1 was set in stone. Okay. Like there was nothing moving this movie from number 1. So it was always just a battle between 2 through 5. And 2 through 5 was a big battle.
It was.
But number 1 for me, and I don't even know if y'all seen this movie, to be honest with you.
Follow That Bird.
I love that movie so much. But that's not my number 1. Written, starring, and directed by Ed Norton, titled Keeping the Faith.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I want to say I might have seen it once. I don't remember.
I've seen every Edward Norton film.
You need to watch this movie. It's got Jenna Elfman, Ed Norton, and Ben Stiller.
I have seen that movie.
And Ed Norton plays a priest. Ben Stiller plays a rabbi. They grow up as best friends in New York with a girl named Anna Banana, and she moves off. Then she comes back into town as a successful businesswoman. They are both successful in their own, rights, and they both fall in love with her. And so it's this like kind of love triangle of her actually starting a relationship with one of them while knowing that the other one is in love with her, but the two that are in the relationship don't tell the other one. So there's just something about it. It's funny, it's lighthearted, and I love Jenna Elfman. Like she is like, as always, there's a special place in my heart for her. Dahmer and Greg, I love. Ed TV, I love. She just has this thing about her. And when she showed up as the angel in Can't Hardly Wait, no, is it Can't Hardly Wait? I think it is Can't Hardly Wait. Is that the one with Ethan Embry?
Yeah.
Embry, where he has the letter and he gives the girl the letter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Can't hardly. Yeah.
Anyway, Keeping the Faith. Go check it out if you haven't seen it.
You had me at Edward Norton, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's number 1?
I had a different number 1 pick for you. My number 1 is probably going to get a high rating on the bogus meter from Mrs. Cooper over there.
Uh-oh.
As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it will. But this movie, the wife and I enjoy very much. We watch it at least once or twice a year. We laugh every time. It is Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
You know what? I'm not going to give you a bogus
Really?
on that movie because I actually thought it was pretty funny, and I wouldn't mind seeing it again. He, on the other hand, my other half, is the one who does not like that movie.
You're talking to Bradley, right?
No, I'm talking to whatever your name is.
Such a sordid state of affairs.
I agree with. I love
But
that
no,
movie.
I like that. No,
I just like Jason Segal's penis.
Look, that movie is fantastic because of that reason. That movie's great. It's got, I think Kristen Bell is hilarious.
He's great, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, the Bill Hader is another one of my favorites to watch. And I just think it's, I don't know, it's great. And plus they filmed it all in Hawaii, and Hawaii's beautiful. So. But it's got so many great one-liners. My wife and I still quote it, and continue to quote it.
Okay, my number one, and by the way, folks, these are ideas that you should watch with your loved ones tonight. And the number one is actually going to be Princess Bride, which I'm shocked it made it through here.
It's a great
and didn't
movie.
get mentioned.
Yeah.
Well,
by the way, because I
knew.
think Princess Bride is perfect. I love everything about that movie. It's got the comedy, and it's all about love, and I love everything about it.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
It's probably one of the most quotable movies ever, too. I'm serious.
I knew that was going to be on your list. That's why I didn't.
Had to be number one. All right, Mrs.
Okay, so my number one is going to be the ultimate chick flick, the ultimate rom-com, which is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
No kidding.
That's a great movie. That's two Matthew McConaughey's.
That's actually...
Wait, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey!
That didn't make my list, but it's it's on my...
It is.
If I could have made more than 5, it would have been on there.
It's one of
It's a
my
great
favorites. I
movie.
can watch that movie over and over
It's
and
a
over.
good... I really do enjoy that
With
movie.
the love fern and all the matching Burberry.
What was it? I thought it was hilarious when they went to his parents' house.
Yes.
And they were all just, because they were playing around a BS, and they were all...
So, you know what?
So, honorable mentions
Yeah.
real quick.
My honorable
Mikey.
mention was not on your list, and I thought it would be. Because it was my number 6.
Well, I still have some.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay, so it is on my list, but it wasn't my top 5.
Okay, yeah, no, it wasn't mine either. It was at number 6. So I just figured that was going to be.
Because of Reese Witherspoon.
Well, yeah, because it's great.
And yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my top.
Okay.
A couple of my other honorable mentions.
Mhm.
I love Jerry Maguire. I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic. He's
Oh,
just
yeah.
not that into you. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that movie. Wedding Singer, I said About a Boy. Actually, As Good as It Gets, 40-Year-Old Virgin, 500 Days of Summer, they were all on there. Serendipity, that's another one of mine. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale?
Don't you lie. I know Love Potion number 9's on your honorable mention list.
Can't buy me love.
I'll be honest, Jerry Maguire flirted on my list for a while.
Man,
That
Yeah.
actually used to be in like my top 5 because
Yeah.
I consider that a romantic comedy.
I think it is.
It's
Now-
so well
I just
done.
watched that the other day.
Now, folks, I let the missus pick 5 romance. Just quick
Oh,
romance
yes.
movies.
I
And
have
I
just-
want her to go ahead and say them. Oh,
Well-
how many?
These are the ones that you want to check out on Netflix tonight since you can't go to a video store
if they
anymore.
are on Netflix, I don't know if
Right.
they're on Netflix.
Okay, go for it, missus. What's good?
So my other list would include You've Got Mail,
Mm-hmm.
which is really
Which
good.
I was shocked didn't make your list, by
Well,
the way.
I don't consider that a rom-com.
Which,
Okay.
by
I
the
think it's
way,
more of a romantic
is a
movie.
remake. You didn't know that, right?
No, I did not.
It is a remake of a 1939 or 40s movie called The Shop Around the Corner that's got Jimmy
Mhm.
Stewart
Oh
in
wait,
it,
I did know that
and it's really good.
because I researched after watching that movie.
Yep.
Okay.
My other ones would include Pretty Woman,
Mm-hmm.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yes.
Which-
I enjoyed making that film. It was some of the best acting in my life.
Yeah,
Let me
I've
tell you.
never seen it.
It's
We're
really good.
so watching that tonight. We're so
That's
watching
a
that.
good movie.
It
Really.
is. The Notebook,
Yes, the ultimate romance.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is kind of older. movie,
Yeah.
but
Shout out to Laura. That's her favorite movie. of all
Okay.
time. She loves that movie.
And then the ultimate chick flick, which I don't think is a rom-com, but I put on there is Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Nobody
Because
puts
no
baby
one
in
puts
the
baby in a corner.
movie. Yes.
I just want to do that dance.
Sleepless in Seattle wasn't on anyone's list either.
Yeah.
That's
It's not
because
really a
you're
comedy,
a
but-
It was good, but I
Nerd.
don't think it'd be up there.
Give me your man card too. What are you talking about?
whatever.
You
Meh.
can't go wrong with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Folks, one last thing we wanted to talk about for V-Day is our old movie crushes back in the day. Mr. Huxtable?
Oh man, there's so many. But I know when I was a kid, my first on screen wow, that's a woman. Cameron Diaz from The Mask, gentlemen.
Yeah.
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 Ew.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Sandra Bullock.
That's a good one too. What movie? Speed. Mine, I'm going to go way back here, fellas. But Elizabeth Shue and The Karate Kid.
No,
Wait.
she's. Oh wait! I forgot. I'm changing my answer.
Too late.
I'm changing my answer. I'm changing my answer. No. I have gone on record before saying she is the best movie girlfriend I have ever seen in my entire life.
Who's it?
Her.
Elizabeth.
Oh, it
Elizabeth
is.
Shue.
You're stealing mine?
Yes. What's her name? Andy. Andy, I think is her
She's
name.
fantastic.
Yeah, she's so wonderful.
All
She's
about-
so cute.
I used to think no woman could equal her beauty.
No, yeah.
I had such the biggest crush on her.
Wait, can I say Miss Piggy?
The missus, what would be your first crush?
My first movie crush was Kevin Costner in Robin Hood. I wanted to be his maid man. It was. I remember going to the
Nothing
theater.
has changed.
Wait,
25
yeah,
years
nothing
later.
has changed years
But
later.
no, I remember thinking like that. I wanted. I used to take a blanket and put it over my shoulders with a what's
Bobby
it called?
pin?
No, not a bobby
Safety
pin.
pin.
No,
Magnet.
clothespin. With a
Clothespin.
clothespin and
Okay.
hold it close, and I would be Maid Marian waiting for Robin Hood to show up to save me. I love
Wow,
Kevin
love
Costner.
you some Robin Hood. But she also
Kevin
had a
Costner
crush.
as Robin Hood.
She also had a crush on Lost Boys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland. Oh, my word. If we're going, like, 80s, Kiefer. I wouldn't
Look at
mind.
how her eyes lit up there.
Not Jack Bauer.
You know, I wouldn't mind Jack Bauer Kiefer. I don't, but I'm just saying. Kevin
Whoa.
Costner was my, I thought we were going with first here.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. First. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Let me ask you this, Matt, just real quick. We're talking about romantic comedies.
Yeah.
Are you upset that one of the ultimate romantic comedies of all time, Annie Hall, beat out Star Wars for Best Picture in 1977?
Yeah, everyone complains about that. You know, the Annie Hall did. Have you seen Annie Hall?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a fine movie. But remember that this is the Oscars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
Oscars never get it right.
Sometimes
A
they do.
majority of the time, they do not get it right.
Sometimes. Every once in a while.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can discuss about this next week, folks. We'll see you then.